What's going on? This is day number 366. Last year, today was like day number 1. And it was originally called the Billions Club, the Road to the Billions Club. And what essentially started off with was my friend Paul, who created XP Tracker. He just launched it last week, I think like 6 days ago, on iOS and Android. And he gave me a challenge. He said, "Hey, are you working on anything today? Like any project, some sort of business?" He's like, "What's a goal that you can set that would impress me?" And I could, and then he's like, and then I could set to impress you. So we'd impress each other with that goal that we could accomplish in 30 days if we accomplished it. And at that time, I wanted to launch a documentary series that I've been thinking about for the last, since back in like 2013, I think. And it was just, I just thought, okay, you know what? I want to secure like somebody who's like a chairman of the board, for this documentary series that I'm creating. And I also wanted to launch a fund to invest in founders. And, I thought, okay, I'm gonna set a goal to, find a chairman, secure a chairman. And that was my 30-day goal. And then, and for the documentary series, I thought of, documenting somebody that went from broke to billions. And he said to me, he's like, "Look, it would be actually more inspiring if you, as somebody who's going from nothing to, billions, and seeing their journey along the way, would be more inspiring." And I said, "Okay, fine, I'll document every day." And that's what I did. And day number 1, you'll see, go back July 28, 2025. I did my first video on this journey 366 days ago now. And I didn't know how it was going to turn out. And then fast forward, when it got to day number 30, I didn't hit my goal. I decided to keep going and keep documenting, keep uploading daily of what I was building, because I wasn't going to quit. Because my mission behind the day number, the number of days that I was building and documenting, I did at the same time, meant more to me than, just a challenge, a 30-day challenge. Right? So even though I pivoted since then about building the documentary series, I ended up still wanting to build a network. So I created a school network on a school community. Day number, it was the Billions Club on school. I was focused on that for a few months. And then I thought, man, somebody in the community actually pushed me to because I got on a call with them one time, and I thought about making like a TikTok for founders, where people can share their journey, and connect them to like investors and whoever else they need, right? So that was something that I was thinking about. And then, a couple weeks later, I speak to the same guy. He's like, "Hey, I built something. I built the prototype." And I said, "Oh, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh," I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, you remember the TikTok for founders?" And then we got on a call, and I saw, he showed me. I'm like, "Whoa, that's crazy." Because at that time I had no idea of the capabilities of what you could do to build an app. I always thought I would never be somebody who's technical. I was the visionary, and I would never build that. But I said, "Wow, that's crazy. So what if you work on this, and I'll give you the ideas. This is what you need to do." And after that call, a week goes by, I never heard from him. And I'm like, man, this can't, if I'm gonna rely on somebody to build this app, I gotta do it in-house, or I gotta do it myself. So I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna build a parallel version alongside of him. If I never hear from him, then at least I have something on my own. If I do and he still wants to build it, then that's great. But I just really made a decision. This was like November 30th, to start building it myself. Hi. All right. Yeah, to start building it myself. I decided to do that, and I started using like ChatGPT, Flutterflow, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. I could just prompt ChatGPT, use Flutterflow, and then after I did that for a couple months, had a prototype within a month, and to me, looking back now, I'm like, a month, man, I would have done what I built in like a day or an hour, even with just one prompt on Claude. But I had no clue. But in the beginning, and then I started interviewing people, getting people on board to dayNumber. And then, fast forward, I end up having like a group of people like I'm hosting to, potentially have like a live demo day on the school. And then Paul, this is back in May, he's like, "Hey bro, what's stopping you?" Because he's been somebody who's been testing my app and using it along the way. And he's like, "Hey, why don't you just use Claude? What's stopping you?" And I'm like, "You know what, screw it." I was like, I made a decision again to start using it, and then within a day I revamped my whole app, you know. So, and yeah, and since then I was like building, and I guess you know, now and then like a month later, I speak to a guy who was like talking about starting a VC fund, and it's with a group called the Decile Group, and there was a way that you can actually start a fund by partnering with them. Like they have the entity set up, the whole corporate structure. All you have to do is basically leverage their system, and they basically partner with you to raise the funds, you know. So you don't have to go through the whole incorporation process and all that kind of stuff, and you leverage their name as well too, right? So I'm like, you know, I was more approaching the guy to see if they want to use dayNumber for their founders, you know. But then I'm like, you know what, maybe they could do both, right? I'll be the example, you know. So now it came full circle after a year of like, you know, I wanted to start a fund. Now people are documenting their journey on dayNumber, and now it's actually queryable, because throughout the days of me documenting, over maybe after 100 days, I was like, man, I wish I could like ask YouTube, like, hey, like, where in my journey, what do you see, what kind of patterns do you see, or where in my journey do you see that I came up with the name dayNumber, or other things like that, right? But it never happened. Yeah, I mean, you can't do it with YouTube, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna do it on my own platform. And you know, throughout this whole time, I didn't know that it was gonna come back to, you know, now the documentary series. It could still happen, but now people's stories are being told on dayNumber. You know, it's like a live journal, right? And so I'm just gonna check for time here. I'm going to work. And so now the one thing that I wanted to share with you is that this whole time I didn't what kept me going was knowing how many days I've been building, because there's been many days where I wanted to quit, even just recently. You know, I think I said this on a live stream. Yeah, many days where I felt like quitting. Many days where I wanted to give up or nothing happened. I just allowed myself to get distracted, whether it's like trying to win money on online casino or whatever. Like these short, you know, kind of wins, like side projects here and there. Like, it's like, but I still kept going because the dayNumber kept going. You know, it was another day. I had to know what dayNumber am I on, because I committed to it. It represented my mission and vision of what it is that I'm doing, and that's why I'm still here 366 days later. You know, and then sharing that publicly and then documenting every day, honestly, you know, no matter what, is what kept me going. And that's why I created the platform. So if you're a mission-driven founder, if you're somebody who, you know, is, you know, building alone, you're building alone. It's not an easy journey. You know, there's gonna be many days where you want to quit, even if you're not building alone. You know, you're building with a team and you feel like, man, like you feel like you want to quit. You know, just, yeah, I would love to support you. Would love to support you in any way. You know, we have a community. If you go to daynumber.io/community, would love to connect with you. Every month, once we get to 500 members, okay, we're gonna launch a monthly demo day where I give away half of the MRR to the community, right? And that's the goal. You know, I want to give as much money away, like Mr. Beast does, you know, to founders. And not only that, it's just a way to support them, but provide all the resources and support they need in order to succeed. And really ensure that, you know, if you do decide to pivot or stop what you're building, it's a decision you have to make publicly, right? Because and that makes it a lot harder for you to quit. See, for me to decide to quit, I have to do it publicly now. Or if I just disappear, even if I don't say anything, it's public, right? So that decision is no longer going to be invisible. And that's what I want to help you. And that's what's going to help, I believe, help you to keep going, to build what you need to build, right? So I got to go, guys, but I will document again a little bit later maybe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.